What's the good word, gentlemen, viewers, everyone? It's your boy HatedGreatness, and we're here to talk about the latest episode of Koutetsujou no Kabaneri, episode 7, I believe it is. We're just going to go right into it. I originally, when I started watching it, I was kind of worried. I was like, uh-oh, this seems like it's going to be a filler episode, and not filler in terms of non-canon, because obviously the anime predates the manga, so everything in anime is technically canon from what we're seeing right now. Filler in terms of how the episode presented itself. It was very relaxed. Not too much happened on the surface level, but a lot of information was given to us. We learned more about the Kabaneri again in this episode. We pick up on information that we weren't given in the previous 6 episodes about Ikoma, about Mume, and their abilities, I suppose. In the beginning of the episode, let's talk about the amount of time it takes for these people to kind of improve. Specifically Ikoma, as he's the main focal character of the series. How long have they been on this Koutetsujou? And I ask because from what I can ascertain from what the anime has shown us, they've been on that Koutetsujou for what, a week? 2? Like, it hasn't been that long. They've been traveling for days. It can't be over 2 weeks. I don't see that as being feasible from just what we've been shown, especially since the majority of the episodes are connected directly with the other episodes. I wouldn't be shocked if they'd only been on that train for like 3-4 days. That's what it kind of seems like. If I'm wrong, comment below and let me know. You could argue that this episode starts off where the amount of time between this episode and the last episode isn't concrete, so we don't know. Maybe it's been days since the last episode. I'm not sure. But the reason I say this is because Ikoma is training in the beginning of the episode, and we learn some stuff about the ability of the Kabaneri from Mume and speaking on Ikoma's abilities while he's training in front of everyone. There's an entertaining exchange between Ikoma and Kurusu, where it's shown that even with Ikoma's abilities, Kurusu is greater than a match for him, just based on his experience and his ability. Then again, I don't think Kurusu is an average human being. There's something about that guy. I don't know what it is. I don't think he's a Kabaneri in secret or something like that, but there's something odd about him. He's too good, if you get what I'm saying. He's too quick, he's too strong for an ordinary human being. How long have they been on this train? And the reason I ask that is because it kind of takes away from Ikoma. It seems like maybe he's leveling up too quickly, as if he's leveling up without really having to work hard or gain experience. It is revealed that the Kabaneri have an ability that almost comes across as like a plot device. It kind of bothered me. I didn't like this new ability that was revealed. Mume basically tells us that Kabaneri are really good at copying people's moves. I'm like, okay, how many anime have we seen where this is the case? And that ability is never used well. It's always overpowered. It just kind of nullifies the purpose of the person with that ability having to work hard and train. You know, I can't relate to that person anymore. This is a person that's gifted with abilities. Give him the ability to circumvent having to work hard and practice. It's like, really, I don't get it. I'm not feeling that ability. I think that ability being given to them is directly correlated with the length of the anime. I think they did that because this anime is supposed to only be, what, 12 episodes for season 1? And that's if there is going to be a season 2. There's no confirmation yet, to my knowledge. If there is, link me below, let me know. I hope there's a season 2. There has to be. There's so much more they could do with this. But it's supposed to only be a 1 season, 12 episodes. So if that's the case, there's a lot that they have to fit in to 12 episodes. And they're already on episode 7. So, you know, what are they really going to do to kind of make up for that? Well, I guess they're going to start using these abilities to circumvent some of the stuff that they would have to build up with time and plot. So even though it kind of bothers me, I guess I could kind of understand why it was done. We'll see. This episode, again, I was worried that it was a filler episode going in just because it was very relaxed. There was lots of character dialogue, but like I said earlier, it can't be a filler episode because the anime came out before the manga. In fact, I don't even know that the manga started yet. So everything in this is canon, A. And B, I believe with what I saw after finishing the whole episode, I get it. It's not a filler episode where this is just like a thrown away episode that you can just skip while watching the entire series. No, you'd have to watch this while watching all 12 episodes because lots of information is given here. And we see lots of character growth for characters that we didn't see get a lot of screen time. We see them interacting with each other without Mume and Ikoma there. So we learn more about them. They're given more screen shine. Sukari and Yukina, they have their own scene where they're just walking around the town because they arrived at the station, Kogokana. And they're walking around the town because people are trying to get resources, buy things, you know, restock for the train, because you find out they can't stay there permanently. So, I mean, where are they going to go? What's going to happen? I guess we'll find out as we continue watching the series. The people start to splinter off and go handle their own business. And these two are together walking around. And Yukino runs into a young boy at the station. She didn't want to tell the little guy this, but Sukari bluntly does honestly what I would have done. Just tells the little kid straight up, listen, that Koutetsujou was overrun by Kabaneri. Your father was on there, so your father is dead. I'm sorry to let you know this. And she's upset with him about why he did that. But it's very telling of what how those two characters are, because they're very similar in that they're very blunt people. But in this situation, she's shown that she's more sensitive than Sukari is, because she understands that that's a young kid, and you don't tell a young kid something like that, at least in her mind. Whereas with Sukari, he figures, no, I don't see it as kind lying to this little kid about, you know, the fact that his father is coming home, because then you keep giving him false hope and you leave him in this kind of a state of limbo. He doesn't know. Give him certainty, let him deal with the facts. At first, it might come across as if Sukari is insensitive, but really what I think it is, it's he lived a similar situation to that. He goes into that when you watch the episode, you'll find out. Again, a moment where we just get a lot from these characters, and they haven't gotten a lot of screen time independent of events happening that affects everyone. So in that regard, it was well done. We see Ikoma and Takumi again. I mean, they're bros, so of course they're gonna hang out and do what they gotta do. And Ikoma, as always, his mind is on the cause. I need to get more resources to make war with the weapons that I'm developing or whatnot. So that's what he go and do. And they run into a Bushi. And again, we start to see this classism kind of come into play, because a Bushi is very rude and very ignorant, and just comes in, demands to be served, even though there's people in front of him, because he looks at them and realizes they're not Bushi, they're steam workers. And in his mind, and I guess in the hierarchy that this world is at, they're below him. So because they're below him in hierarchy, it doesn't matter that they were there first and that they have work to do. He should be served first, and they should be happy that he's there, and he should be able to treat them like dirt. This isn't the same Ikoma we met in episode 1. This is an Ikoma that's been through war now. This is an Ikoma that's a Kabaneri now. Ain't nobody got time for that. So he puts a quick, simple beat down on the dude. Not like hospitalize the dude, but, you know, beat him down and said, know your role, shut your mouth, know your place, you know, and remove yourself from my presence. It was, again, very well done. The interesting part about this is, in the scene I just mentioned, it is Takumi who was actually ready to go to war. He was ready to fight the dude, even though he probably knew he couldn't win that fight. But A, I'm assuming he has a confidence booster of having his boy there that's a Kabaneri. So he's like, ain't nobody messing with me. And B, it's just more of the same of him just not letting people treat Ikoma poorly because he's his friend. Also, in this episode, the glasses that Ikoma wears are used again in a form of symbolism. Here's why I say this. During the beginning of the episode, the training exercise between Kurusu and Ikoma annoys Kurusu, and Kurusu knocks his glasses off again. Now, you're probably thinking, what does that mean? Well, you already know what I've been saying about the glasses. I long suggested that Ikoma doesn't need those glasses anymore. He doesn't. His senses are all heightened. He's stronger. He doesn't need them. He uses them as a force of habit and a way of anchoring him to the humanity that he feels he's losing by being a Kabaneri. And it's interesting that you see that knocked off of him, because who knocked the glasses off of him? It's Kurusu, the person who right now is the living embodiment of reminding Ikoma, you aren't human anymore. He still doesn't trust the Kabaneri. He just works with them because it is in the best interest of everyone on the Koutetsujou, and it is the best interest of serving Ayame, and Ayame is fine with working with them, so he has to swallow his pride. So it's very peculiar that he knocks his glasses off in that moment of just being annoyed with him. And again, it's a person who doesn't view him as human, removing a piece of him that would kind of make him human, if you get what I'm saying. These things keep happening throughout the series, and there's a rule in media and cinema where if you see something happen 3 times, or if you see an item 3 times on screen, it's important. They don't do that unless they want you to notice this. This has happened at least 3 times that I've encountered in this series already, so I think that this is a running theme. You see Mume, again, being more human. And what I mean by being more human is you see a softer side of her. She's interacting with children and babies. She's interacting with the other girls her age and women and whatnot, and she's partaking in a custom that she didn't even know about. And it makes sense that she didn't know about it, because from what we've seen of her past, she didn't have the time for, you know, celebrations and rituals that were outside of the cause of her trying to end the Kabaneri problem. She even acts softer toward Ikoma in this episode than she has in any other episode. You see Ikoma actually being the one that's, you know, very much rigid and about the task, and she's kind of trying to tell him to be less serious and lighten up. And that Ikoma sees the girl from his past in Mume, and Mume sees someone from her past in Ikoma. That's their relationship now. I don't know that it's even one of kind of romantic interest. They haven't really shown that, and I don't think that it will be, because it wouldn't really fit in this show. Ikoma is not in a place right now where he needs a romantic interest. His task is a daunting one. He needs that. He doesn't need anything else. But it's very funny, because as they start to get closer, what happens? A figure from Mume's past physically shows up in this episode at the end to kind of round things up. This is a solid episode. I would definitely say check it out. A lot of things happened. I didn't want to touch on all of it, because this is a very story-driven episode. So I don't want to spoil everything. If it was all action, I would just throw it all out there. But there's really not too much action in this episode. We find out, again, a quick review. We find out things about the Kabaneri that we didn't know, in terms of how they learn and why perhaps Ikoma is getting so much stronger, so much faster, so much better at fighting than he was in the beginning at such an expedited rate. And since he has the ability to learn by watching, fighting side by side with Koutetsujou like he did in the last episode is going to level him up immensely. Because as we see Koutetsujou, especially now that he has that new blade, first of all, that duo, ridiculous. So if you have Koutetsujou and Ikoma on the front lines, and then Mume behind them doing work, like, that trio is unstoppable. There's still more supplementary characters to be added to that fighting force. Takumi is supposed to be learning how to use weapons. The big brolic dude, ironically, who you think be a frontline fighter as well, and he possibly is. I think eventually we're going to see that he's actually really strong physically, because he's huge. But he's you see him in the OP with the gun, and apparently he's a marksman with it. I don't know. There's a lot more to learn about this episode. There's a lot more to learn about this series. Sorry. And again, I wish I could go further into this episode, but it's so story driven that if I talked about any more of this, I would be spoiling the episode, and I will never spoil the episode for you guys. Definitely watch this. You have to, because again, the plot and story is given here. Characters are developed in this, and if you skip this, you'll just be missing out on it. If I had to give it a score, 8 out of 10. 7.5, 8 out of 10. It's not the best episode in the series. It's not. In fact, it's probably the worst I've seen so far. But I mean, again, all the episodes have been great. This episode isn't bad. It's just good. It's not great like the others. But it serves a purpose. And I think it might even be better once we see what happens at the afterward, and it ties back into this. Especially with how this episode ended, with who showed up at Kokokana and what we learn about these people. That apparently there's a group of people whose task it is to go out there, wipe an entire area clean that's been overrun by Kabaneri, and let people go back there and live there. That's pretty badass, right? How do we just not hear about this? Mume's connected to them? Okay. How is she connected to them? Who is this brother person she keeps mentioning? Is that her biological brother? Is that just a brother that's adopted her after what happened? We'll find out. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you're new to my channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Like the video. Comment. I honestly, liking the video is cool, I guess, but I appreciate more when people comment, and I appreciate when people subscribe. So do what you can. Spread the word if you want to. Check out the older videos as well if you've missed any of those. Yeah, I'm gonna have more videos up of gameplay. I was actually playing Paragon earlier today, and I had a really good match. So I'll probably clip out that good match from my stream. I was streaming actually right before this. I'll clip out the good match from my archive and upload that. I might just upload the whole stream. I don't know. I'll probably be streaming right after this as well. So you can check out my stream as well on Twitch. It's just HatedGreatness with no underscore. It's just actually, I think it's HatedGreatness, just like it's HatedGreatness on YouTube. So you can find me on Twitch. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Like I said earlier, thanks for all the support I'm getting, and it really means a lot to me. It's nice to see the channel grow. It's nice getting positive feedback. I'm already working on getting better equipment, better camera, better mic to improve the quality of the videos. And you're gonna see more. I know I said it last time. I will do it this week. I have footage for Joker's game that I just need to edit and put online. I have footage for my Oiga that I've finally recorded that I need to edit and put online. So I will get on that. I've been slacking, no excuses. But I think it's more that I'm still learning. So I'm trying to perfect the craft, I guess, or get as close as I can to perfecting the craft before I upload more videos. So, but I'm gonna get on that. So again, this is Hated Greatness. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment. Peace.